I dare you. I dare you to give up tail and commit your life to God. I dare you. I dare you. I ain't trying to be funny, because you know what? I was in tailgating too. I'm not talking about what I read. I'm talking about what I experienced. So I'm not talking to these. I'm talking to all of us. All of you out there too. Give up all the mess you were in and watch God. Sing through that mess and shout through that stuff and watch God.
Welcome back to the podcast. Beloved, this is indeed your brother Big VJ checking in. Today's conversation, we're going to talk about black organizations, whether they are non-religious organizations or they are religious organizations. We're going to have a conversation about connecting yourself to an organized body of people that have a particular purpose, right? Because that's what an organization is. It's an organized body of people with a particular purpose, right? You know, beloved, we got a comment last week on one of the videos, and it was a young brother talking about that for the last year he has been trying to join the Nation of Islam, yet he have not been successful, right? Now, just the fact that we got a young brother that want to join the nation, I mean, we're impressed by that alone. Because we know, beloved, there's so much that our young people could be a part of, that if they want to be connected to an organization, which is the nation, that have earned the trust of the people. I mean, you can't do anything but be happy for the young brother at where he's at. You know what I mean? Because listen, we could have got the same comment, and it could have been a young brother saying, you know, brother VJ, I've been trying to join the Crips, all the Bloods, all the Pyrus, all the folks, or the Moles, or the GDs and BDs and Vice Lords for the past year. And it could have just been the same thing. But to have a young brother saying, look, I've been trying to join the nation, you'd be like, man, you know, that's all right. Because, beloved, I connected to that comment because I too, as a young man, I wanted to join the nation. Right? So when I seen the brother say he wanted to join the nation, I was like, okay, that was pretty dope. I can see it. And but just the fact, again, of a young man wanting to be a part of a black organization when there's so much to get involved with, I think that's very admirable that the young brother he's even trying to do that, right? So, you know, I want to talk a little bit about black organizations today. I want to talk about both sides, you know, non-religious organizations, and I want to talk about religious organizations that are in our village, right? You know, if you just hung out on this platform, you would think, beloved, that I was a part of the nation, because I have such a high regard for Mr. Muhammad, because I'm impressed. From even when I was a teenager to this very day, the fact that a man, we talking about Mr. Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was able to do so much with so little. You know, it still kind of it put me like, I wonder a lot of like, man, how was he able to do it? There's no internet. Technology then is not obviously what it is today. But again, for a man to have a 3rd grade education, meet another man, which is Master Teacher, Master Farrakhan Muhammad, set Mr. Muhammad down, taught him for 3 years. Just 36 months left. And with that teaching of 3 years, Mr. Muhammad was able to build the Nation of Islam to such a degree that at its height, the nation was worth $75 million. And Mr. Muhammad had 10,000 employees. 10,000 employees that worked for these different businesses that's all black owned. Salam Bakery, Salam Barbershop, Salam Warehousing, Salam Trucking, Shabazz this, Shabazz that. Man, beloved, it's like, how could, that's with a 3rd grade education. To this very day, I read his information, Fall of America, which is one of my personal favorites, Message to the Black Man, Theology of Time, Supreme Wisdom. And I just say, how did he do this? He only had a 3rd grade education. How did he do this? So I get what a brother saying, you know, he wanted to join the nation. He haven't been successful, but I understand what it's like to be impressed by what an original man can do with just so little. I have a great auntie, and every time my family get together, she has a saying. She says, strong roots make strong branches, right? That's just like every time we get together, this is a saying. She just sit back, she be like, strong roots make strong branches, right? Mr. Muhammad was able to put ministers in front of us that we never seen people talk like this before. From Jeremiah Shabazz to the brother minister himself, big brother minister Farrakhan, to Malcolm, to Muhammad Ali. He took an athlete, a boxer, transformed him, made him a minister, Temple Number 12. And Ali, he was able to get in front of the world and talk because he had a teacher that gave him the knowledge itself, right? You know, I was born, beloved, in a religious black organization myself, right? It was founded in 1916, and the name of it was Ethiopian Overcoming Holy Church of God, by the late great W.T. Phillips, out of Ali, the city of Mobile, right? He later changed it. It started off as being Ethiopian Overcoming, but he changed it to Apostolic. This is the Church of God, right? This great man, W.T. Phillips, he made his transition after successfully leading the church for like 57 years and some change, right? He made his transition in 1973. So one of his ministers was my bishop, my pastor, my teacher, and my bishop in Detroit, which is one of the local branches of this overall organization that was started in the South. He made his transition in 2002, right? So from 2002, beloved, to this very day, this is my personal journey. I never connected myself to any organization, whether they was religious or they were non-religious. I just didn't do it. Because as a young man, you know, beloved, when my pastor, when he made this transition again in 2002, I was already in my 20s. I already had a wife, I already had kids, you know, I was already a young adult man, you know what I'm saying? And my value system was cementing. So there were things that was important to me that if an organization, whether they were religious or non-religious, I had like 8 things to this very day that's important to me that I won't join myself with an organization unless they're able to tackle, if not all 8 of my keys to the value system that I have. If they're not able to do maybe like at least half of them, I won't join myself with it, right? Salvation is important to me. Salvation, beloved, is very, very important to me. And salvation is a state of being protected from harm or an awful or horrible situation. Being saved, salvation, that's important to me. That comes from the Latin word salvatio, being safe, right? Moving by yourself is one thing. But if I want to do something larger, something bigger, something greater, obviously I will have to connect myself to an organized body of people that have a particular purpose. And I haven't came across an organization that I'm willing to join myself with, because, when any of us, men or women, when we connect ourselves to an organization, we're going to automatically, as a member, we're going to bring four things. Right? We're going to bring time, talent, energy, and money. We're going to give our time. We're going to use our talent, our energy, and our money. Right? So, as a man, if I'm looking at a religious organization or a non-religious organization, because I can just very well go down to the National Black United Front, become a member, or go down to like some Southern Baptist or Methodist or Lutheran organization, or I can also go to like the Moorish Science Temple of America that was started by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace be upon him, he's no longer here, or I can become a member of the Nation of Gods and Earth, or the Nuwabians, or Hebrew organization, right? It's important that your value system is connected with the organization that you are a part of. See, when I was a member of a black religious organization, it was by default. See, my big mom is from the South, so, she had my mom, them in the church house, and then when my mom, them booked it, they went to Detroit. This religious organization that was started in the South, it had temples all over the country, and she just connected herself to the one in Detroit, and then by default, I was a member of a black religious organization, apostolic, that, of course, even as a young man, you're going to bring your time, talent, energy, and money, but you begin to, how can I say it? You begin to develop your own value system. And if this organization is not connecting with your value system, because listen, what's important to me is this: personal development, right? In a professional sense, because I'm going to go over the 8 things that's important to me. Personal development in a professional sense. So I just say professional development, community empowerment, citizen rights, conflict resolution skills, sexual education, which is, you can connect that with mate selection, financial management, home ownership, and business ownership. Those 8 things, that's important to me. These are my values. That's important to me, right? I didn't know that when you're part of an organization that it should, because I'm in a religious I'm in a church house. So we were kind of trained to be a member of this local branch, provide our time, talent, energy, and money. But if we wanted to do like professional development, you had to go out of your organization to do that. And then if you want to be a part of community empowerment, you had to go out your religious organization to do that. If you want to talk about, you wanted certain laws passed in your city and certain rights and certain things done, you had to go out to do that. You couldn't do that. You was not trained to do that from your home base, which is your religious organization. And again, organization is an organized body of people for a particular purpose. So it was like the focus was on being a believer, just like a believer, right? And that works when you're a young man. It works. When you become like an older man, all right, it's 52 weeks in a year. And if I can look at a calendar, and the only thing that my religious organization can guarantee me or you is that we're going to have 52 meetings, and they're going to talk about something in the book. And, I don't know how much it is Mesec, Shendigo, and story. I want to hear all that. Okay. When do we do the Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego part, and then we convert that to professional development, community empowerment? When did we do that? That doesn't really get done in the black church. So I like the Nation of Islam because they have a 10-point program. You can see what you're getting involved with before you get involved with it. But also I like this. I like the Hebrews. I like the Hebrews. And keep in mind, beloved, I do not look at these organizations as they are a vehicle to get me to heaven. Cause that old pie in the sky kind of deal, I understand. There's levels to this. And if you one of those ones, and this is, everybody got the right to see life how they want to see it. I'm just not one to be in an organization, and the only thing that you can give me is a pie in the sky and the by and by, and you got shoes, I got shoes, and when we get to heaven we gonna do it. And then if it's not that, this invisible imaginary kingdom, then you got some ghouls and goblins and some demons and some devils that's floating around. Everything is invisible. Everything that is of importance is invisible. If you kind of got that kick, and I understand that I'm in a physical realm, this is the third dimension. Listen, I'm going to just pivot and say this, because we're going to talk about organizations, but I'm going to say this. The invisible is the eternal. And in the spiritual realm, the Most High designer and fashioner is spiritual. Yet, we know that the Most High, he overcame, he dominated, he conquered the spiritual realm, and he created the realm which is material, it's physical, right? And by privilege, he allowed us to have a physical experience in the material world that he made, right? So, beloved, if you're listening to me, if you're underneath the sound of my voice, you fought to get to this physical realm. You beat out, because if we go back through the art of sexual education, there were others in competition to get to that edge. You beat out others to get to the physical realm. Now you made it. You're in the physical realm. Once you get into this physical realm, everything that is physical, the material world, it all lives by a law. So it is our job in the physical to study the laws of that which is already here, so we can know how the physical work. What do I look like going to any religious building every weekend, and everything they talk about is going to be invisible? It's like, bro, it's like, I'm not interested in that. I'm in the physical realm. Everything you finna kick some ghouls and goblins and some demon talk and some spiritual stuff, bro. Why did you beat out all those other sperms to come to the physical realm just to talk about how much you can't wait to get back to the spiritual? Jump off the cliff, just do something, just go and go back to the spiritual realm. Go back to being invisible. Help yourself. But the rest of us that's here, we understand that we have to master the physical realm. We're here to master the physical realm. If it's a community of us, we must talk about professional development. You figured out before the sermon, in the middle of the sermon, after the sermon. We're not in a place as a village where we can just talk about invisible stuff every weekend. That's why the nation is important, and the Hebrew Israelites is important. If you ask me, beloved, and you just me, I like what the IUIC is doing, and I like what the ISUPK is doing, right? In my estimate, beloved, when a brother minister makes his transition, I personally think that Bishop Nathaniel is going to be the most powerful man on the whole planet. The entire planet, beloved. And he has like a 12 tribes chart where through his information, his language, his doctrine, he's teaching that the Native American, the black man, and the Latino man is all from the same family. And he's getting the original people to buy into this story now. Now this dude is powerful on another level. He go to Africa and kick that story. He can go anywhere in the hills of North America and kick that story. And he got the black man and the red man and the brown man. Many of these, he got these brothers on the same page. Now this is a powerful brother, right? Now, to see the wisdom of Bishop Nathaniel, we must see if he can convert that to professional development, to community empowerment. Because if he cannot, he's just Reverend Rib Dinner 2.0. He got an invisible heaven, a spook gonna do something. He's waiting for a new Jerusalem to fall out of the sky, this whole kind of, and we've been getting that already from Rib Dinner. But if he can turn that page, man, he's a dangerous guy in America. That's you know, I try to look at everything 25, 50 years down the line. And an organization is, again, the definition of organization is an organized body of people with a particular purpose. You know, the Nation of Islam has you can go on the back of Muhammad Speaks or the Final Call, and you can see the 10-point plan. You can see what these brothers and sisters are working towards, right? But look, going back to my value system, again, professional development is important to me. Community empowerment is important to me. Citizens' rights and conflict resolution skills. Sexual education, which is mate selection, beloved, because again, if we come from a community that got over 70% single parent households, and it's just not a Detroit thing. It's the same thing in Cincinnati, and same thing in Charlotte and Fayetteville, same thing in, I don't know, Miami, Memphis. It's the same everywhere we go. It's the same numbers everywhere we go. That means that the devil's institution is working correctly, and what we are putting down is not as powerful as what the devil got out here. Financial management is important. Home ownership and business ownership. That's turning the page. Look, let me say it this way. You know, the religious black organizations that I like the most is, again, the Nation, ISUPK, and IUIC, right? Any black man that talk about joining one of those three organizations, I'm impressed, right? Now, they can join any organization as long as it's not no tribal community street gang, and I'm going to give them my support. They can wake up and say, V, I want to be a part of the National Black United Front, the NBUF, like I'm okay. NAACP, I don't know. We had to talk about that. But Southern Baptist is a religious organization, Methodist, Lutheran, Mormon, or they can go the More Science Temple of America, which is founded by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Now, they can do all of that, but this is how I'm gonna place it in my mind. If you are a member of any organization, whether it's your local church, which is a religious organization, or a non-religious black organization, I want you to ask yourself, what space do that organization operate in? Does that organization operate in the civil rights space, or like a justice space where you guys do something with the court system, or does it operate in the professional development space, or networking space, or community empowerment and support space? Or does it operate in the specialized and demographic focused organization space? Because check it out. I'm gonna share something with you. You know, the LGBT community, that would be that organization, right? Or Black Lives Matter. It's kind of like it's like a gay organization, and I forget the name of transgender something. It's a obviously LGBT organization, but I want to say this. Those kind of groups operate, pardon me, in a specialized and demographic focus organization. See, a transgender is a specific kind of demographic that they're operating. Now, they're really in a race because, again, they're members, so they're going to bring time, talent, energy, and money. And you can see these people take money and they get things done that is connected to their values. Now, if I took an organization, a black organization that started in 1995, it's called the Alliance of Black Jews, and this came in again Chicago, 1995. All right, if you join the Alliance of Black Jews, what space? Because you're bringing time, talent, energy, and money. What space is this organization going to operate in America? Like, is it going to go to the civil rights space, or the professional development space, or community empowerment? Where is it? What space does it operate in? If you join the Methodist Church this weekend, you go hear the pastor, he say something, you touch, you go up to the front, you become a member of the organization, right? The Lutheran church, the non-denominational church, or whatever, and you join, what space does that organization operate in? Does your local church, does it connect with community empowerment in any shape, form, or fashion? Does it operate in professional development? See, that's what we got to see with the IUic and the ISUPK and any other organization that you are a part of. What space does it operate in? Because if it's the same old, we're gonna get you to heaven, you know, you got shoes, I got shoes. If it's that, then I'm like, you just got ribbed in a 2.0. Even if I join the National Black United Front, what space does it operate in? Well, okay, what are we doing? What's the mission? So it's important to have your value system. Your value system connect with the organization that you are a part of, because you're going to give your time, talent, energy, and money to the set, so to speak. Because if you go join the Bloods, that's an organization. The Crips, it's national. It's a national organization. What space do they operate in? Anti-justice. Not community development, community destruction. They can say they do operate in the networking space because they do network, right? They do network. But look at, it's anti. Yet, they're still going to donate time, talent, energy. That's how come it feels like gangs have more of a pull on the neighborhood than the organizations do. Because at least the gang members, they're connecting their values to, they're connected now. And I'm using the word value like loosely, but they believe in anti-justice. So a bunch of Negroes, black seed and brown seeds, that is anti-justice, they all get together and they run in the streets and they do illegal activity because that's their value, to do things that's illegal. All right, what is your value system? What is your keys to success that you feel like would be very instrumental in bringing your village to the next level? With me, professional development is one of the most important things I feel like a organization, a black religious organization or a non-religious organization can do. These young men and women must be taught skills. And if you are a part of an organization that, all they can do is use your time, talent, energy, and money, and you got to leave there, right? You got to leave the St. John Lutheran Church or JoJo Southern Baptist Church, and you got to leave there and go across town and be a part of another organization, do A, B, and C, and then you got to leave that organization doing that. I'm like, man, we can't. It's kind of like we're past that. There's levels to this. We're past that. We working too much. Many of us as men, we working too many hours to be a part of 2 and 3 organizations. We just need one that can tap. And listen, that's why I say the verdict for the Hebrews is out. I like the IUIC. Man, I like them brothers. That purple, I like it. They're very organized body of people. I'm just trying to figure out their purpose. Cause I see the debates. I see, they got the Son of Mary is Black deal, and I feel like I made a podcast some weeks. It was some brothers that was upset with that. I was talking about the feet being burned with brass, and they ain't like that. It's like they all right, okay, so we disagree. Now, if you're part of a religious organization and you show me your calendar, what out of 365 days out of a year, what part of these days do they teach the members professional development? Who learns how to drive a hollow, or as they say in the South, a forklift? When does your church provide forklift training, or CDL training, or bookkeeping training, or they teach the women how to cook? Because they do that in the nation. See, the nation, women are taught how to be wives in the nation. That's the MGT. They teach them how to cook, how to sew, this is how you warm up. Anything they have to do with being a woman and a mother, how to feed children, do this, do that. They have a whole class that Mr. Muhammad put in place that women must be taught how to be wives and mothers. If that's part of your value system and you want a good wife, you can go to the nation and get one. She already gonna know how to. She's MGT. Now, does that connect with your value system? That it's important to know how, having a woman to know how to cook and clean it, because they have classes to teach them that. General civilization classes. Right? Now, if I'm going to the Hebrews though, do they teach that? Do women have their own class to teach the women, the sisters? Because they can have 3 and 4 wives over there. So are they being taught how to cook and clean and rear children, and they have a particular class that teach them that? Or for the brothers, again, I'm going back to this. Professional development. 365 days of the year, I'm looking at the calendar. Do they teach CDL classes here? Do they teach typing? Do they teach, what are they teaching over here? You give me your money, time, talent, energy, and money over there. What you getting out of it? Anything about community empowerment? Citizens' rights, conflict resolution skills. Because this, in my estimate, this is the Hebrews' time. I just feel this way now. I like everything that the nation is doing. I just feel like the shift is going, the Hebrews is going to have the country. What are they going to do with the power that they're going to get in this country? We'll leave it there. right? I just wanted to just talk more about the importance of being part of an organization and make sure that, you get, or I don't want to say get, your values that you want to see done. Not necessarily, because this is, I got my own value system. Are you able to see your organization? Is it an extension of your values? Or you just go there because it's tradition. You just go there because tradition, then you got to run out and then talk about different value systems with other organizations. You can't do it on your own. That's your home base. Right? Because look, see, my religion is marriage. Right? Dig that. My religion is marriage. So it's on me as a father in my household to go over with my sons about personal development, community empowerment, how to go down to, city council meeting, and you sit and you talk about this, you talk about that, and you teach them about conflict resolution. You teach your own children about sexual education, mate selection. You teach them about financial management. You teach them about home ownership. You teach them about the importance of owning a business one day, right? You do that in a household. If I go out and have an organization I'm be a part of, it's going to be the same extension as that. I'm not going anywhere. And I feel like this is what religious organizations do. See, black religious organizations in the 1960s, when you became a member of that organization, that local religious church, it was connected to civil rights though. It was like the church is the home base in the 60s, but it was connected to civil rights. So you knew at least what space you was operating in. That's why when you go back and look at them old 1960 videos and stuff like that, in the marches, you looked at the church house, there was so many men there. Because men love missions. You got to give a man a mission. He got to be, hey, this is what we're doing, right? We're fighting for justice. We're fighting for civil rights. He's signing up. He's connecting himself to community empowerment, right? He's supporting. The Jewish synagogue, they're still doing that. They're still, they tweaked theirs though, beloved. They went to financial management hard. You go to them synagogues, they turned the page. They was with us. This is just interesting. They was with us in the 60s. The Jaime and the brothers was together in the 60s. And for some reason, we stayed on community rights. We stayed on civil rights, and we kept trying to, we trying to get blood at that turnip, and we kept riding it. And Jaime, he was there with us, and then he jumped off the civil rights page. He turned. He made a cold pivot. He went towards financial management. Him and the rabbis, they went a whole nother way. Financial management and networking. Now you look up, they got all the they own everything. Now you running around, you the black Jew, you got a curse. All of a sudden, look at you. It's a curse. It's this. What? You got a curse? You got a curse? Nah, bro. You ain't got no professional development in an organization you running. You ain't got no community empowerment. You ain't got no financial management in that organization. That's what you got. You got something in the sky. Just gonna come out the sky someday and save you. And beloved, we're gonna leave it there. Peace and black power to your family. Thank you guys so much for listening, hanging out. Beloved, listen to the brothers out there, sons and nephews. Man, we proud of y'all. Line yourself up with an organization that got your values and just take it from there. Everything will be smooth. Until next time, man, it's Real Black Consciousness Forum Podcast, man. Big V, man. I'm getting it with you guys later. Peace, beloved, and more peace.
I know I'm not talking to everybody. There are people that love God and are comfortable and want to stay comfortable. You need to go find a comfortable church that wants to keep you comfortable, and y'all be comfortable together, and I'll see you in heaven. But I'm going to have whooped some ass before I get there to see you. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to have whooped some demon ass before me and you see each other in heaven, because I refuse to sit by and watch the devil steal, kill, and destroy when God's offering me the power to do something about it.
Thanks for listening. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Google, Anchor, Spotify, and Facebook. Also, don't forget to like, share, and comment on the podcast. Your opinion of what you just heard is important to the platform. So yes, beloved, your comments are the engine and fuel to the machine. Stay blessed and have a powerful day.